Well, we have International Horse Day coming up on June 2nd in Las Vegas. There's a national effort. There's one. There's going to be a march here in LA. There's going to be one in the Bay Area, and then we got our event in Vegas on June 2nd. I believe the name International Horse Day was started in the 70s in the UK by a bunch of prostitutes. I think it was like 72-ish, if I'm remembering correctly. And in light of all the federal legislation around that's allegedly to protect trafficking victims, which on its face, I don't think anybody would have a problem with, but unfortunately, it criminalizes consensual adult sex work, at least in the sense that it makes it illegal for websites to promote adult consensual sex work, and it's very vague as to whether that's even pornography, which is perfectly legal if everyone's a consenting adult. It's going after websites that are hosting this various content and stuff like that. So yeah, that's
kind of a scary thing. I think about that
scary
legislation, right? Because it conflates sex trafficking and sex work or consensual sex work.
Yes.
That's
the weird kind of scary thing about the law, and it has yet to be seen like how it's definitely affecting like outdoor sex work, full service sex workers, because there are a lot of the websites that those people were advertising their services on have been taken down, and so those folks are definitely the more marginalized of the sex work community, and this is mostly to give those people a voice. And it's been really cool in Vegas though, because we've got the porn people are coming together, the strippers are coming together, the prostitutes are coming together, the pro doms are coming together, and I'm hoping that it will be, at least in part, if not completely, struck down in federal court at some point. My knowledge about constitutional law is that it's so vague that it's overreaching. The government's overreaching its bounds as far as what can be restricted as speech, and in this case, I think speech would be construed as the use of the internet, and because it's so vague, I think from what I understand about constitutional law, I hope that if it makes it into a federal court, a federal judge will be like, yeah, the government can't do this because typically it has to be really narrowly tailored, and it has to be for a very compelling purpose.
I see.
I don't think it is here. I mean, that's just my personal opinion, but
hopefully it won't make it too far.
Yeah, I hope so. I think just awareness about it. I think a lot of people, and you see this a lot. I think this was the case with the Prop 60 in California. What was that, like 2 years ago? The average Joe citizen, if you said, "Oh, should porn performers wear condoms?" and their knee-jerk reaction is almost always going to be yes, because people equate that with safer sex, right? And I think there's a similar thing going on here, where like, if you ask any random person, do you want to stop, people from being trafficked? Yeah, of course, most people are going to say yeah, absolutely. But what they're not going to see between the lines is that that's not actually what this law is doing. It's actually hurting trafficking victims, because it's going to drive those people more underground, because they don't have even the folks that are being illegally trafficked. Those websites aren't there, and like how do the police track that even? There's no websites that that they can actually find these people. So it makes it harder for law enforcement. It makes the people being trafficked more vulnerable, and it criminalizes adult consensual sex work.
Right.
So those are kind of the three big problems. So I think if you can't attend the march or throw in some financial support, just educate yourself a little bit about the law and what it really is about, and have conversations with your friends and your family and your coworkers that, okay, yeah, like nobody wants sex trafficking, but that's not really what this law does.
Right.
So I think that's a good way to support, is to kind of educate yourself and help educate other people.